All right, good morning, folks. Welcome to the pre-market show. Hope everyone is having a good morning. Hope you have had a great day yesterday, start of the week. Good morning, Norm. How are you doing this morning?
Hey, good morning, Carlos. I am doing well. Yourself?
Doing good, doing good. Just looking at all this excitement on Beyond the Meat, just absolutely insane.
Oh,
Up 15.1 today. Was that 24 bucks or something? I think it was 26 bucks from the close yesterday. It's just unbelievable. Already hit 200 for the pre-market. Past that, I think 202, 203. It's just unreal.
it's up nearly eightfold from its open now. And that is a perfect example of something staying irrational longer than you can remain solvent. That is a bunch of
Yes.
shorts getting killed.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, I can imagine there's tons of people here that probably got short, saying, "Oh, this is way overextended. Let's kill this," and probably held through this. Who knows? But again, this is just insane. It doesn't make any sense.
I
But
think, yeah, you can probably say that going all the way back to $60.
yeah, right.
You know,
Meatless burgers, people.
it's just not
It is hot right
just
now.
nuts.
So let's get into it, guys. Here's
So
our watches from yesterday. We had a couple of not low, this one is a low flow CTR. ARQ is not a low flow. That's actually a mid to large flow stock, but it does have a lower price, so you do have to be careful. But let's look into it. Let's see what happened yesterday. See what we had on watch. Starting with QUR. So QURE. Let's look at the action from yesterday, how that traded. Yesterday was not a great day in regards to how many in regards to the watches we had. Here we have QUR again, just pretty choppy. Even the pre-market action didn't look great at the open, sold off, and then it just became pure chop after that. Didn't give you a good open range breakup or breakdown. Again, it's just I had this one on here, but really didn't really trade well at all. So look at this chop on the 1 minute chart again, just kind of going back and forth between the moving averages here, not really giving you anything clean into about 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock, you finally settles down and it gives you this nice pop over here. But again, didn't really set up for any type of breakout that you can possibly see here on this stock. And then throughout the day, it just kind of gave you some ups and down here on the 5. Again, if you could have caught the top or the bottom on this, long or in short, you could have made out okay. But again, overall, it's just not really clean. And then at this time, you didn't really have not a lot of volume. BYND has been crazy at the open yesterday, like I expected it was going to be. Choppy, could do the same thing today. Who knows? I expect there'll be a lot of profit taking. I mean, we're hitting some all-time highs here, up 26 bucks from the last close. So I expect people to take some profits if they held overnight. Here you can see again, just opened up really choppy as well. This is what I find hard about BYND. It's very difficult to trade at the open, right? You get this volume and then the price action is just not clean. The ATR is huge on top of that. So you really have to have good risk management, position management as well for to trade this kind of stock, right? Some of these swings are, I'll show you now. This is 165. Down here is 60, 160. So again, $5 swings on some candles. You got to be really careful on type of number of shares you take on here. AMD was actually very nice. AMD was clean. Again, they didn't have a great pre-market action, but look at the open here, how it sells off, sells back up above VWAP, cannot hold above VWAP, finds some resistance right in this area here, and the minute it drops, it loses VWAP. It just starts losing. It continues to drop nicely. And then something happened around 11 o'clock. I was watching this. We were all watching this in the chat room. Something happened here. I don't know what it was, but it loses the low of the day, and it never looks back. It just starts continuing to sell down nicely all the way down to this level here. Again, not sure what happened in this area, but I didn't see any major sell-off anywhere else. This one did continue to drop nicely, though. Here's Target. Target, we knew it was going to possibly be in play. At the open, didn't give you much, but after it settled down here, sold off a bit, it kind of does a double bottom. Not as clean, right? We like to see this a little more cleaner here. But once it does this, once it gets above the previous high, which is around this area here, you can see it takes off above VWAP and it never looks back after that. Very close to the high of the day. I think it did end up hitting it towards the end of the day. I'm not sure. But again, it was a real nice bounce off these levels here after it sold off. Again, didn't happen really fast. And this double bottom, which is what I like to look for, wasn't as clean. But once it broke out of the VWAP here, it could have been a good risk to reward to take it for a long. Disney, we also had as a possible. Also had a nice drop. Again, not really clean pre-market action. This was one we had in there just in case it was going to do something. The daily chart looked great. This is why we kept it on here. Sold off here, found some bottoms here, finally bounced off above VWAP, but again, not really giving you any type of indication it was going to bounce. And this here is not a good clean price action as well. And then after that, it's just kind of just hung around, not really giving you any good reversals or indications of to take a trade here. Facebook was great. Facebook was very clean. Again, we knew Facebook had a possible breakout, and it did just that. At the open, again, a lot of volume, so a little choppy, but once it settles in, right on this candle here, you can tell it was strong. Breaks the high of the day, it just continues to ride this moving average all the way up to the 188s here. So you get a pullback to VWAP, but it continues to go higher. Again, we saw this coming out because I'm just gonna go back here on the daily chart. Look at the daily chart yesterday. It just had that breakout, right? And it did just that. It went up here. We're talking about possibly breaking through this level. We had a level right on here. Actually, the 188 level, that was a possible target, and it did just that. Came up to this level, and today's up again a little more, 1.9. So again, Facebook just has been very strong the last couple of days, and you have another level here coming up, also 196. So we'll get into that in a second as well. CTRV, this is one of the low flow stocks. Again, this stock has been crazy. We have some levels on here. But again, opens up and it just sells off. I was watching this action because it is interesting to see how this stock, this flow is, I believe, like 300,000 or something ridiculously small. And then again, it went at the morning from 9 all the way up to 18, and then right here it just kind of gets chopped and just sells right back down. So not really anything tradable unless you have available shorts. I didn't have no shorts on this one neither. And again, you would never want to short a stock like this. ARQ was really nice. ARQ actually, it was a former runner. We had this one from a couple of days ago. Had a nice pop here. Had a big day yesterday as well. So yesterday you can see in this at the open, right, it kind of consolidated, not doing much. Now we're a lot of volume. Out of nowhere, it just breaks out from the high and it takes off all the way from 884 and 984. I gotta admit, my FOMO was an all-time high as well. This thing took off nicely. It was very clean too, the way it did it. It wasn't something that was nasty, and it's a larger flow size too, so it's not a low flow, so it's not gonna dump on you a dollar or two, right? This can be very manageable. So that was the stocks for yesterday that we had, guys. Again, not the greatest list overall, but still somewhat manageable on some of the things that actually did ran. All right, let's get into what the SPY is doing, into some news. What's going on today, Norm, or this week? I know the Fed, is this today that the Fed is speaking, or?
The FOMC, Federal Open Market Committee, starts meeting today. Their meetings are 2 days. It'll wrap up tomorrow, 2 p.m. They'll have their announcement, 2 p.m. Eastern. Then Jerome Powell, the chairman, will give his press conference at 2:30. So, we're actually pretty active market today. Usually the day or two before a Fed announcement, things are fairly quiet, but it looks like there's some excitement coming back into the market. SPY's gapping up a little over 0.2%, which is more than we've seen in a gap up in a while. I might have done that when I didn't have electricity and not trading, but I wasn't paying attention to the market that much at that point. So, it looks like it's trying to make a charge back to that 294.95 level, which is the all-time high it set a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
Or the beginning of May. We're still in the range between 281, 295. We'll see if it can break out. It looks like it's gaining some strength here. We just had some economic news come out this morning that moved the market a little bit. It's kind of been a little choppy, but the housing starts came out a little stronger than expected. There's not a whole lot of new economic information in the next 2 days, other than the fact that the FOMC will be meeting and, like I said, have their announcement and press conference tomorrow afternoon. The European Union has had some news come out. Mario Draghi, the head of them, was speaking earlier, I believe. And, overall, it's still summer trading, but it looks like we're in a little bit better shape than we were yesterday. It was the gappers list yesterday was quite depressing. So
yes.
That's kind of what's going on. The 30,000 foot view. I will say one thing, guys. When we're real busy, and we're going to try to point this out in the next few days, because we get, a lot of new members come in and everything else. We love to help you out and love to talk. If you have any questions that are not directly trading related, for instance, platform questions, commission questions, stuff like that, use the off topic tab, if you would, and leave, direct setup, trade kind of stuff for the main chat. It's especially important right at the open, right before and after the open, when we are, live trading and the market's kind of hectic. So thank you very much for your help on that. And I'll mention it again, just because we have people that'll continue to pour in the room between now and the open.
Yep, absolutely. So again, SPY's up nicely here, kind of consolidated. Now it looks like it wants to take off, and it's a possibility of hitting some of these levels. I think it's Beyond the Meat that's moving the markets, really. I think that's what's happening here. So we'll see. Speaking of Beyond the Meat, let's start with our gappers list. Of course, the Beyond the Meat, let's throw this on here. Again, just extremely active. 903,000 shares traded so far. Setting some all-time highs at 202.80 cents. It's the all-time high on the pre-market right now. So again, just very active, guys. I just find it very difficult to trade at the open. I'll admit it's a stock that the ATR is extremely high, so you got to be very, very careful. I look at it because it's fun to watch, but I haven't touched it yet, just because of the type of price action it is. So today will be exciting. Let's see what it does, if it's going to continue to head higher, but just be on the lookout for possible profit taking. All right. So that is something. I know anyone that held overnight is sitting on a pretty penny today might be cashing some of that stuff out. Next we have JAGX up 21.2.
I haven't traded Beyond the Meat either.
Yeah.
I still don't have shares for short. I know every once in a while they pop up.
Yeah.
But shorting that is also just a recipe for disaster potentially anyway right now. So
that could be very dangerous. I mean, look at the ATR; it just keeps going up. It was at 14 or so, or 15 a couple of days ago. Now it's at 19.54.
Yeah, crazy.
So it's just insane, guys. You don't want to short this thing. It's just, you never know what's going to happen. It's every morning it had one down day. Let's look at the daily. It had this down day here. Then after that, really, it's all been all green. Consolidated here, and then it's just gapping up, and it's just, again, you don't want to be caught in that. So next on here we have JAGX 20 up 20.4, 104,000 shares traded so far. Just looking at, looks like we have traded this one before, because I do have some levels on here, probably on this day when it had gapped up. So what do we have here? Daily chart looks okay, a little interesting. Pre-market action, that's all right, not great, and it could be because it doesn't have a lot of volume. It is a lower flow stock, looks like, as well, just the way it's trading. Let's look here. Yeah, 1 million shares flow. So we're gonna bring this down all the way down here. For the low flow team, we'll be careful with that one on how many shares we take. All right, next we have Snap. Snap is on here as well. Snap is up 4.5, 848,000 shares traded. So that's some nice volume here for Snap. Snap can tend to be very choppy. But man, this is a good daily chart. And you're thinking, what the hell's Carter looking at that makes this look good? Well, it just seems like it's pushing up against this level here. It looks like it wants to break out of this 14, what's that, 1430? I'm just going to mark it down because I'm already there. 1430, looks like it might want to break out of that. As you can see, over the last couple of days, it's bouncing back between this 1350 and 1430. So it just looks interesting. I do know that Snap can, again, be very choppy. It doesn't trade very clean, but the last couple of days has had some real nice, some real nice movement here towards the upside. So again, this consolidation looks nice on the daily. Possible breakout, and we might find some levels above that. So Snap looks interesting. Looking at the pre-market action, looks okay. Actually looks good. You got a nice pop here, consolidating. Now it looks like it wants to break out. So it does got some volume. We'll come back to that one. Tesla, it is up 2.4. Let's take a look what's going on with Tesla. 2.6, 178,000 shares traded so far, and it has a good pre-market action. Usually Tesla does not do that, but the pre-market action here looks great. Let's see what it looks on the daily. The daily also looks like it possibly wants to break out of this moving average we have here. We have a level 234.11, which is the high of this consolidation days here. So that looks good also. Yeah, so Tesla has an interesting daily chart, has some decent volume, and the pre-market also looks good. So I think this one is one that's possibly going to be in play today. All right, so I'm looking over ARQL's coming up here again. Say it again.
So one of the theories behind Tesla's couple of day run is Musk saying he would delete social media account.
Hey, that will make his stock skyrocket.
That's pretty sad, isn't it?
Yeah. So ARQ here, it is up 1.6. Not a great pre-market action. It's got some volume, 129,000 shares traded, but not really giving you a good pre-market activity at the moment. Now, this is the one that took off yesterday. Again, gapped up a couple of days ago. This was Friday, I believe. Had a big day yesterday, and today's just kind of deciding what it's going to do next. Let's remove some of these levels here. Right now, pre-market action not looking too exciting. Let's see if it gets better as the day develops. Next on here, we have Facebook. Let's see what Facebook is up to. So Facebook, 1.1 million shares traded so far. Wow, that's a lot for Facebook at this time of the day. Can't recall when's the last time we saw that type of volume on Facebook. So again, we were talking about this earlier. Has had a couple of exciting days. Norm, this is one of your top fours. What can you tell us about Facebook or the last couple of days?
It's popping right now on them with this new cryptocurrency deal, Libra. It started this run a few days ago when they announced it, and it just has not stopped yet. So it's actually helped some of the. I don't trade cryptos, and I generally don't follow them, but it's helped some of the cryptos pop as well. I know, I believe Bitcoin's come up to a high it hasn't seen in quite some time. So just kind of legitimizing cryptocurrencies. This one, the Facebook cryptocurrency is going to be based in actual crypto. And, you know, this was the one thing yesterday I was excited about trading, and it ended up working out. I had this in an Apple trade, but Facebook traded really nicely yesterday. So we'll see where it can go.
Yeah, no, and it's got a really good pre-market action right now with some good volume. Even with this huge volume here in this candle, 261,000 shares. I mean, that's just a quarter of what it's trading. It's still trading 1.1 million shares. So again, really active, nice pre-market action, and the daily looks amazing. You have a very nice clean breakout here we saw yesterday, and today looks like I might want to at least test this 196, the high of this couple of days where it's been consolidating. So Facebook is interesting. Next we have BHVN. Let's take a look at this one. This one is down. So the first stock that we see on the downside, down 29%, 430,000 shares traded. What's the news on this one? What's causing this to drop this much today?
This one's on a secondary offering.
Okay.
That they announced, I guess, yesterday after the market closed.
Gotcha. Yeah. So here, pre-market actions got some volume, but not looking all too great at the moment. Again, it seems to be a little choppy in this area, but the volume is there. It is down quite a bit here, down 29% based on that secondary offering. All right. So
Cassiano, I'm going to hop in here very quickly and answer Cassiano's question about what a secondary offering is. So an IPO or an initial public offering is when a company first goes public and offers shares onto the market, and then later on through its lifetime, a lot of times companies go back to raise more money and they'll offer more shares. And so let's say they offer 100 million at their IPO. That's a huge number, but let's just hypothetically say that they come back, they offer another 50,000. So they're essentially, everybody that owns their stock and believes them is being diluted by that. A lot of times you'll see it when a stock, especially BHVN has a relatively small float. It's not a massive company. We wouldn't call it really a low float, but kind of on the low side of mid float range. And a lot of times when you see companies do that, it's kind of a signal to the markets and to investors that the company believes their stock is overvalued, because otherwise they wouldn't offer, you know, if they thought their stock should be $50 and it's 25, they wouldn't come and try to, you know, they wouldn't want to undercut themselves by doing that. So there's a couple of things going on there.
Yep, absolutely. So interesting. We'll keep an eye on this one, see what happens there. And then here, CTRV is one that is down 35%. This is the low float that's been hot over the last couple of days. Wow, look at this, down. Did this just drop? Yeah, I think it was just at $9, just dropped down to 6. So again, it's just be very careful with this one. The flow on this one is 292,000 million share. I'm sorry, 292,000 flow. So again, just stay away from this one. Looks nasty, guys. Looks like it's on highway to hell here. Probably gonna head back down to where it came from. And also look at this nasty daily chart. It's just horrible, right? Since it gapped up here back in the beginning of June, it's just been hanging around here. Had another big day yesterday, popped up, and then right back down. So not really anything that's tradable. All right, let's look at our top list. See what we have here: Nasdaq active, Nasdaq gainers. We have MGI on both active and gains. Let's see what's going on here. So this one, 2.9 million shares traded so far, so that's tons of volume. Let's see what the flow is here. Oh, it's not a low flow. It's a 30 million shares flow. It is on the lower side, but it is manageable. And the ATR is 14 cents, so it's not anything that's moving crazy. So MGI could be a possibility. Again, up 153% today, so that's insane. Norm, we have any news on MGI? Why it's popping up so much like this today?
Abiel actually just posted. It looks like Ripple's going to take an interest in it. In MoneyGram, they're investing $50 million or something.
Oh, nice. All right, so this one is active today. Got some serious volume here. Pre-market action looks okay, not great, but not bad. Right in the middle. We can find some levels off of this, so this is good. Next we have Facebook. This one we have already. Again, Facebook looks amazing. Daily chart looks great. Pre-market action looks great, and the volume is really nice. AMD's got some good volume here. Also, 1.0 million shares traded. How's the pre-market looking so far? Pre-market's actually looking pretty good. So I like AMD today. AMD looks interesting. Daily chart also looks interesting. You're getting a bounce of this 29, which was previous resistance, and now could become support. So that's good. Let's put AMD on here. I like the volume. I like the daily chart as well. Next we have LGCI. We know this is a penny stock, guys, so we'll bypass this. BIOC, also penny stock, so we'll skip on this one. Also BYND we have. The Nasdaq ETFs, we'll skip those. Let's head down to number 9, VBIV. This one's penny stock as well. SLS, also a penny stock. We've seen this plenty of times. All right, let's go over to Nasdaq gains. MGI we have. Cool. What's Cool doing? KOOL. Pre-market action looks okay. It's got some volume. What's the flow on this?
I believe it's tiny.
Yeah, it is a lower flow. Yeah. Again, it looks like it's active, guys, but it's a lower flow, and it usually is trading, under $3. So again, just I'm gonna stay away from this one today. FRSX, also a penny stock, not great. GTHX, not a good pre-market action. No volumes. You can see only 40,000 shares traded. Yeah, it's up 19.5, but again, not much going on here at the moment. So we'll bypass that one. JAGX we do have down here. Next we have IMRN, not doing much. Beyond the Meat we have BIOC. We looked at penny stock, not really doing anything. PHAS at the moment, no volume, only 12,000 shares traded, so that's not good enough. GALT, also no volume at the moment, only 2,000 shares traded right now. All right, guys, so we have quite a bit here. Definitely looks a lot interesting than what we had yesterday. Yesterday's watch list was just nasty. So it looks like we have some interesting stuff on there. Let's go over to announcements and see what we got going on this week and today, and then we'll come back to do some levels here.
Yeah, so I'll repeat. You did, or Robert did class 1. You did class 2 last night. Class 3 and 4 are tonight. With my buddy on the other side of the mic over there, Carlos, who's doing an awesome job with those. Then class 5 tomorrow, Thursday night. Is that correct?
Yes, Thursday night's class 5, risk management. Yep.
All right, Thursday night class 5. So you got a full slate of live classes today. I just want to shout out to Carlos. Been doing a great job of updating charts and everything. Some of them I watch the classes, and sometimes you see charts from that exact day, and it's phenomenal to see that.
Yeah, thank you.
Workshop Wednesday is going to be William tomorrow, talking about risk controls. That will be in the room from noon to 1 Eastern. Andrew, so busy few days coming up here. I will be out tomorrow traveling to New York. Andrew, I will be up there, and then in Montreal. We don't have a meetup or anything in New York. It's a very quick trip, a presentation for DAS. Friday, we're meet up in Montreal. There is a link to the forum where it discusses the location and time. And then Saturday, Andrew's asked to be a speaker at the Modern Trader Summit in Montreal, so we'll be there. Come out and see us if you're in the area. And then also really exciting news, Dr. Brett Steenbarger, world-renowned author of trading psychology books, and really one of the foremost people in the field of trading psychology, will be doing a podcast for us here in the room for our members on July 26th. So there's a forum post there. You can check it out. And yes, and as Blake mentioned, the Modern Traders Conference or Modern Traders Summit, there's also a webcast. They're going to stream it. So you can check that out. I believe it's moderntradersummit.com. You can go check that out and see Andrew on Saturday if you're unable to make it to Montreal. Next Lifetime webinar, June 27th, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern. There's a forum post up there for newer members and newer Lifetime members. You can go in there and post your question ahead of time. Usually we lock it at some point midday, the day of the actual webinar, so that we're not overloaded with questions. And then last but not least, I'm going to once again mention, we've got a lot of newer members in here. If you have any questions about platform, commissions, anything that's not, hey, I'm seeing an ABCD form on Facebook, or hey, this looks like it might be doing this, or I'm thinking about taking this trade short or long, please post it in the off-topic tab. We monitor that very closely as well, and we can answer all questions in there. It's especially important just before the open, just after the open, through about till about lunchtime. So anyway, that is announcements for the day. If I forgot anything, Carlos, please
no, man,
chime in.
I think you got it all. Definitely got a lot going on. I think the only other thing we have for today is today's Tuesday, so we have William on Trade Reviews. Not sure if you mentioned that.
No, that's true. William's Trade Reviews.
So William's Trade Review, he is on at 3 p.m. looking at your trades and going over it, good or bad. Send them over to him and he'll review them today at 3 p.m. Eastern time. And if you cannot make it, they're recording in the Education Center, so you can go in there and watch it later at a more convenient time. All right, guys, so let's get into it. We got quite a bit on here. Let's find some levels, resistance, and support. Let's start over with BYND, which just seems to be insane. High of all time right now, sitting at 202.80. All right, so we'll mark that down. Looks like it's selling off a bit here again. I think this is going to be very choppy right at the open, so please be careful. Wait for it to settle in and decide what it wants to do. I'm marking the high of this day here around 186.92, low of the pre-market 181.70. That's really all the best levels you have around this area. Again, sitting at an all-time high here. And then if it loses 188, you have the previous day close sitting around 170. So again, pretty interesting pre-market action. Looking at it right now, again, looks great. It's bouncing off these levels, creating a nice range here. It's got some good volume, 1 million shares traded, up 23 bucks from the close yesterday. Again, just be very careful on this stock because the ATR is huge. I think the ATR is now sitting at $19, right? Here we have Snap. Snap looks interesting on the daily. We were talking about it earlier. Looks like it might possibly want to break out of this 1432 level we have here. It's been resistant over the last couple of days, being tested at least here for sure, here and here. So we're right at that area where it looks like it might want to break out. So let's remove these levels and see what we have on here. The one thing with Snap that I will tell you, I traded it quite a bit, and it can tend to be choppy, right? It takes a while to make moves. It does not make really big moves. ATR on this thing is very low, especially when it's not in play. So I'm here 1448 is a level there. We also have another one right up here around 1514, and then all the way up here 16. We'll mark that. I don't think we'll get there, but anything is possible. The markets look strong right now. SPY is up a bit. So if anything else gets added on to Snap, it can definitely take off here. So towards the bottom, you have plenty of levels. I don't think you need to add any more in this area. Around 1350, highs and lows of the last 2 days, previous day close, and also a moving average. So again, just a lot of levels in here, which is probably what's causing this back and forth. Eventually somebody's going to end up winning here, buyers or sellers. Here we have another moving average coming in around 13, so I'm going to mark that down. This moving average here is a nice one, 1294. Another moving average here around 12 bucks here, 11.92. So look how these moving averages now are also being supported by the daily chart. You know, you got the open and close right on here, these several days opening and closing right around this 12 bucks as well. So we'll see what it does. It's having some resistance again with that 12 14 18 bouncing back here. So we'll see how it opens up, but it's got some really good volume today, and I think it can be possibly in play. Tesla has a great pre-market action, guys. Has some decent volume, not great at the moment, but it can definitely use some more volume. Right now, pre-market action looks great, but the daily chart looks even better. So I'm just going to remove some of these lines we have here, get some fresh ones. High of the pre-market sitting at around 231. You can see this moving average also coming in here as well, so that's nice. You can possibly find some resistance there. If it's able to break through that, which the daily chart shows some strength at the moment, it's looking like it wants to possibly break out. You have the next level sitting right on here, 234. Above that, you have several days in here. I'm going to mark the high of this one right over here around 241. So plenty of levels towards the top. Towards the bottom, you got the high from the last trading day. You got the previous day close at 225. If it loses that previous day close, which I'm not betting money on that, I think this thing looks strong, like it wants to break out. That's just what the daily's kind of showing, but anything's possible. 220.74 could be an area where you can find some kind of support if it drops down. Then below that, you got plenty. You got moving averages, highs and lows from the last 2 trading days. Looks like it's giving some back here. Again, could not crack that 283. Let's see what it does around these moving averages. If it's able to bounce from here and give it another shot. ARQ had a big day yesterday, right at the open. Didn't have a great pre-market action. Today's doing the same. Not a good pre-market action neither. It does have 173,000 shares traded. So we'll mark the high sitting at 1035. What do we have above that? Because this thing is not a low flow stock, so I'm probably going to watch this one just to see in the mid-morning, see if it does any possible breakouts with some volume, because that's what it did yesterday. It was very quiet, then out of nowhere it started just inching its way up and making a possible breakout. So 1058 is the next level if it can get back up to this 1034. And then towards the bottom, you got plenty on here. You got the previous day close, you have this level here around 9, and you have this high, the 2 lows from 2 trading days ago around 8 bucks. I don't think it'll drop that much. Again, it's been strong, so today's a good day to see if this thing is going to keep the momentum or not. All right, so next we have Facebook. Facebook also is looking really nice. I think it's going to crack that one, well, at least test that 196.15. Look at the pre-market action right now. Again, just heading right back up. High of the pre-market sitting at 194.20, so we'll mark that down, see if we can get up there and test that one more time. And then above that, we have this 196.15, right? We went back and got this from several days around this area. Towards the bottom, we have the low of the pre-market sitting at 190.62. So we'll mark that down. And then below that, you got plenty of levels. Previous day close, previous day highs and lows. So plenty of levels in here. But again, I think this thing is wants to head north here. It's just a lot of activity, some really good volume. Look at it coming in here. Every time it's settling down, it keeps getting bought back up. So let's see if we can get that double to that 194. BHVN doesn't have a good pre-market action. Does have some volume, 467, down 29%. This is one that has a secondary offering. We'll put some levels on here. Not sure how this one's going to trade today. It is on short selling restrictions already. We have the low sitting at 39.90, the high sitting at 44.50, and we got a moving average right at 44.50. You have a nice moving average, the 200 coming in right next to that. Towards the top, you have this level over here, very clean level of 47.52. We talked about this yesterday in our class, right? How you find these levels. You can see being resistance, you draw a line right through here, right? And you can see how clearly resistance and then becomes support, right? And this area is testing that, right? Towards the bottom, you have your previous day close. I'm sorry, the low of the pre-market, which also becomes resistance in this area here as well. Let's find another level just in case we drop. I'm gonna mark down this one over here. Looks good on this day here, 37.38. Also, you can see a possible area of resistance and support in some areas as well. So I think that's plenty of levels. Right now, pre-market action is not looking great. The news on this also, not sure how that's going to react and how it's going to trade throughout the day. So definitely not one of my favorites, but we have our levels ready to go just in case. All right, so here MGI is very active, not moving much. I think What is the ATR? Yeah, ATR also 14 cents. So that's why it's not coming up here in our gappers list. We got this one from our Nasdaq active list. It's on Nasdaq active and Nasdaq gainer. So again, it's got some good volume. 3.3 million shares traded. This is MoneyGram, so they got some news on somebody possibly buying them out,
Exxon.
I believe.
Ripple's investing 50 million in it.
There you go. So that's a big number. I could definitely make some changes here. The high of the pre-market is sitting at $4. The low sitting at $3.19. Right now, pre-market action just looks good, but it's not moving a lot though. So we'll see how it reacts at the open. All right, if we can break out of this range, we have $4 and $3.19. So let's look towards the top. If we can break out of this range, we do have a nice pop right over here on this day to 456. And above that, you have a area right over here, support and resistance around 559. I don't think it'll get that high. It's a long way to go, but we have it already ready and set. Towards the bottom, we have, let's go in here. Yeah, we have a moving average right below 3, so I'm going to mark that down. And then you have another moving average right around 225 or so. So we'll see. We have it stuck within this range right now. Just kind of dancing around it. Let's see what it does at the open and how we get the volume. AMD, let's look at AMD here, see what's happening. Let's remove some of these levels. AMD's daily chart is interesting. It's got some good volume too this morning. 1.1 million shares traded. It's up 1.2. Pre-market action also looks interesting as well. So let's get some levels in here. We have a moving average right slightly above the pre-market high, 29.87. Towards the bottom, we got the previous day close. I'm just going to mark down this moving average here in case we lose the previous day close, which, as we know, it can be a significant support level. Then towards the top, the level's already set for you. You got 30.05 from the high from yesterday, and also moving average in here. And then you have 31, which is the high from 2 days ago. So that is really all you need on AMD. Again, the volume is great. Pre-market action is clean. If it can pick a direction at the open with volume, it can definitely take off nicely. JAGX, this is garbage, guys. Selling off, no volume, so I'm just gonna remove this one. CTRV,
JAGX is low float.
Yeah, right. It was
piece of garbage,
exactly.
Pump and dump stuff.
That was a 1.2 million shares float. CTRV is even worse, so I'm gonna remove this one. Also, looks like it's selling down here. Just in a matter of seconds, this thing goes from $9 to $6, right? So you don't want to be involved in that. This flow is like 300,000. So again, you don't want to really be involved with that. Daily is, yeah, it's horrible. It's horrible, the daily chart on that one. So we'll get rid of that one. All right, guys. I saw William post something, Microsoft.
Microsoft, yeah.
All right, let's take a look at what Microsoft is doing. Yeah, the daily looks good. This is reminds me of Facebook too. It had that breakout, that possible breakout. So this is all-time high here, William. Is that what we're saying? This is good. This one here, so 134.25 all-time high on Microsoft. Yeah, this could be interesting. Again, doesn't have a lot of volume right now, only 93,000 shares traded, but when stocks get close to the all-time high, they tend to increase in volume. So we'll see how, if it can break out of that, or if that's going to become huge support.
I got one more I like for you, and that's NVIDIA today.
NVIDIA, let's check NVIDIA out, see what we got going on here. Yeah, this daily also looks good as well. It looks like it wants to break out of here again. It kind of sold off a bit here, consolidated. Didn't break this 143, which has been strong for the last couple of days. So yeah, this looks good too. Also, again, volume is not there, kind of like Microsoft, but again, the daily looks really good. It looks like a possible breakout here also. I'm gonna mark down. I'm not gonna mark the high of the pre-market. I'm gonna mark this level here. I think it's gonna be more important. This 148.59. Slightly above that, we have this one over here, 152. Again, just looks very good on the daily, so I'll definitely keep an eye on this one as well. Norm, thank you. All right, guys, so that is what we have. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Definitely way too much. I think I'm gonna drop BHVN. I'm gonna drop this one. MGI, I mean, it has a volume, guys, but it doesn't move much, so I might drop that one. We'll see how it goes. ARQL, I'm going to drop this one. Doesn't have a lot of pre-market action right now, but we have our level set in case it hits our scanners, right? Eyes on scanners on ARQL if it starts getting volume. Snap has a good daily, but the problem with Snap, it can be so choppy. I mean, we trade this a lot, and if you could get 20 cents out of this, you know, even 10 cents is like, it can take forever to make that happen. So daily chart looks good on a possible breakout. I might drop it, not sure yet. Tesla looks interesting also, like Nvidia and Microsoft. They have that possible look that they want to break out of the daily, so we'll keep an eye on that. AMD also looks like it wants to bounce back here. So again, I think we got a very decent list today. A lot of green on the board today as well, so that's good to see also.
You might take a look at Roku too. I know we've just got a couple extra minutes here, and I know your list is probably already together, but it's looking good for a breakout on the daily as well, potentially.
Yeah, there's a lot of potential breakouts today, guys, which is great. Let's remove some of these levels on Roku. And Roku, when it gets going, Roku seems to always sell off at the open. And I see Brian catch these moves all the time. He always catches a nice double bottom on Roku. Seems to sell off, and again, I'm not saying this is what's going to happen, but seems to sell off and then find a bottom and then just take off, right? It seems to have that type of style of trading. 105.16, 105.20 high of the pre-market, and then you have this level here at 106 also. So again, just in this stock, we've seen it do this so many times, right? Sells up, consolidates, sells back up, consolidates, sells back up, consolidates, sells back up, and now it's consolidating, and now it's getting close to that point where there could be a possible breakout. So Roku is interesting also. Need some more volume, but you know, we know Roku is going to get the volume throughout the day. Yeah, we have a lot to choose from today from opposed to yesterday. So this is good.
Yeah, what a difference 24 hours can make.
Absolutely. Tesla found some really heavy resistance at 230. It's bouncing back here. Let's see what we have.
It's right there, the 50 on the daily, it looks like.
Yeah. So David, we have a question on YouTube. Can resistance level become support? Absolutely. Yeah, we see that very often. And it usually does. Trying to find a good clean example on the stocks we're watching today. But yeah, it tends to do, right here, Nvidia, perfect example, right? Comes right back up, finds resistance right at 143, right? Clearly stops right on there. The next day you get a continuation, maybe sells back down, but then notice how that 143 now becomes support here and here, comes right to it, finds support and takes off. So resistance does become support. You can see it becoming support here, then it comes resistance the next day, right? So yeah, that happens all the time. So look out for that. And even in the intraday trading too, right? You have it on the daily, but you also see that in the intraday trading as well, where stocks, bounce off certain levels, and when they break that level, they'll come back. For example, on the 5 minute, right? They might break the previous day close. I see this more often than not. Norm, you let me know if I'm wrong. They'll come back, test that previous day close, and then take off again, right? So we see that type of move on MD, on MU, JD, and all these stocks more often than not. So be on the lookout for that.
And you got to think about the psychology of that move, just the mechanics of it. So it's, you're already at a strong level. People are concerned about buying at a high. It's broken through that level. And so you've got some hesitation of new buyers to come in until it comes down and tests to make sure it's not going to drop and they're not buying at the high. Once they see it test and, okay, this looks like it's actually hanging in here, take off. So that's what's going on psychologically in the market, those moves.
Yep. Oh, here it is. So Kurt actually was nice enough to make a video on YouTube about resistance support, probably one of his trades. So I'm just going to share with you guys. You can definitely take a look at that. Kurt's one of our members that has been trading with us for a while, longer than me and you, Norm. He's been with since these guys were Vancouver traders. So he's been a long time member with Bearable Traders. So all right, guys. So that is our list. We have plenty to choose from today. So again, you can watch everything. Pick your top 4 or 6, whatever number you're watching. But today we have a lot that looks great on the daily with volume. A lot of green on the screen. Let's check what the SPY is doing right now. Again, SPY is up a little more than 0.5%. It's also got that gray look like it wants to break out of this level of previous resistance, guys, right in here. And then the next level we have is possibly that 194-ish area. Which again, Norm was mentioning is weird with the meetings coming up, right? It's weird to have this type of movement today. So it's good for us, and hopefully we can get some good movements out of the markets today.
One last time I'll say this morning, guys, if you have anything that's not directly trading related, like something about, your platform or how to place some type of order or something like that, put in the off topic tab. We're trying to clean up the main chat just a little bit. to, setups and things of that nature. Just it gets so busy at the open and through the first several hours of the day. Try to keep it directly trading related, and we appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Yep, absolutely. All right, guys, we're coming up on 9:15. Everyone have a great morning today. Again, stay focused, stay disciplined, and we have a lot today. You can't watch everything. Pick a few. No FOMO. Don't go long BYND just because. Wait for a setup. And have a great day, guys. I'll see you tomorrow at 8:30 Eastern time.
Thanks for joining us, guys. Trade safe. See you tomorrow.